Hello, welcome back to our YouTube channel. So today we're going to talk about Chapter 7, Adaptation of Plants in Different Habitats. Before we go more into it, I'd like to introduce myself. I am Jaysree. As a team leader, is going to do a little briefing about this Chapter 7. So along with me, there will be my another two crewmates, Syazwani and Nuralfiyah, who would help me. So let's get started. 7.1 Adaptation of plants. What is adaptation? So, as we all know, it means adjustment of an organism to the environment. So, this is just basically means like how we react to, like how we go to certain places, certain houses, and then we don't feel like we belong there. That is what it means by this one. We are trying to get used to that. That is what is adaptation. So what is adapt in Malay? It means menyusuaikan. So it's just all about plants, how they get used to the environment. Okay, so animals and plants have unique structures and shapes to adapt to the environment. So you have seen like plants have a different shapes. For example, a cactus, they have very like long, torn things. And animals also they have different kind of like fur, their abilities, such thing. Moving on. Okay, this is the cactus. So yeah, you can see that the cactus have a very long, like kind of like a branches, but it's not a branch, it's kind of like a leaf, and they have like a lot of thorns, which helps to prevent the water loss to the surrounding because the place is very hot near the deserts. So you got to the next one. So classification of plants based on habitat. We have four different adaptation of plants. Okay, the first one is mesophytes, second is hydrophyte, third is halophyte, and last but not least is xerophytes. Okay, so as a good person I'm going to go each and every detail for you guys. Let's start with mesophytes. Mesophyte is a plant that lives in not too dry, not too hot kind of situation. So as you guys know, these plants lives in our country because we live in a iklim khatulistiwa climate. So they're like easy to found in our country. Like for example, the mango tree, the hibiscus tree, um, yeah, those kind of trees, like durian trees, yeah, those kind of trees found that. And the second one is hydrophytes. Hydrophyte, it's very easy. Hydro, you see the word hydro, it means water. So these plants lives in water. But there are two types of this kind of plants. The first one is the one which always stays afloat on the surface of the water, or the other one which is submerged inside the water. We'll go to that later. And the third one is Halophyte. So Halophyte and Hydrophyte have kind of like a similar thing, but the difference is Halophyte is a swampy area, which is kind of like a muddy, and the plants lives in the river bank. Like swampy means like paya. So this is where the paya bakal tree, the forgot the name, those trees live there. And last but not least is xerophytes. So xerophytes, can just remember it's zero, so which means there's not a lot of water there, which means a desert. So which plant lives in desert? You guys know, cactus. We will go more into that later. So before we go more into that, let's see some pictures. So this is the example of Halophytes. You can see this. Yes, this is what I'm going to tell just now. A mangrove tree. You can see that it's in the kind of like not in the center, but it's in the side, and it lives in a very swampy area. This is mangrove tree, and this is limonium, which is called as sea lavender. Okay, let's go more. Okay, so this is the example of hydrophytes. You can see this is the lotus and this is the sedges. Of course, you know what is lotus. Okay, and sedges is like the small durian thing I think you have seen when you were a childhood. That this sedges, and both of these are the one which is like stay on the top of the water, not the submerged one. I'll show you the submerged one later on the slide. Okay, moving on. So this is the example of mesophytes. Okay, I can see that there's a sunflower and lilies right here. I mean, there's a lot, you know, like I say, mango trees. Um, can I add apple tree also? Uh, yeah, I bet you have seen a lot of trees, you know. Yeah, like grapes, those kind of trees. So just look at how beautiful this flower is. Just like you guys. And this is the last one example of xerophytes. So we got aloe vera and dates. Okay, so I did a little research and I searched what are the example of xerophytes, and I found aloe vera, which is cool because you can find it in our lawn, you know. And it says that it is an xerophytes plant because they have different kind of structures which is related to xerophytes. So that is why. And you know dates for the dates. So yeah. So let me give this away to my friend. They will explain you. Bye. Hey, it's me again. So we're going to see more about hydrophytes now. So hydrophytes, you know, lives in the water. So they have to have a very fibrous roots that provide a large surface area to trap air bubbles. Okay, so their roots make them stay afloat in the water, and it is also helped by the buoyant force. So as you guys know, we have learned buoyant force in physics, so don't ask me what is that. So for example, lotus grow by floating on the water surface with the roots not anchored to the bottom of the lake. So anchored means, you know, like the saw which the boat have, like the ship in the ocean. They put the saw anchored like in the sand to prevent it to wave away from the surface. That is what is happening right here. It won't. The difference is it won't going to the sand. Just stay upright. If this is the sand, it will stay up here. That is what it means. So they have a very broad, thin, and flat leaves. Okay, and their stomata is situated in the upper epidermis of the leaves. And the upper epidermis of the leaves is very waxy and waterproof to ensure the stomata is always open. Okay, and the light tissues with plant hair spaces between the cells is known as parenchyma tissue. Okay, let's go to the next slide. So this is the stem, how it looks like inside the stem. This is the example from the lotus. Okay, so you can see this is the air spaces. Okay, this is the hair spaces, and there's vascular bundle around here. This is from the microscope, and this is from just the sand. Moving on. Let's go more into the submerged plants now. So submerged plants grow completely inside the water, like you can see the leaves or the flower or whatever from the surface. Okay, so they have a very thin and small leaves, which is to increase the total surface area per volume and to increase the diffusion rate of water, mineral salt, and dissolved gases directly into the plant through the epidermis. Okay, so that is one. And they don't have stomata and waxy cuticle on the leaves. They're nothing like the plants which are on the top surface. Okay, they're different. So their stem, which is small and hollow, helps this plant to stay afloat, and which these kind of like adaptive features, these shapes, reduce the water resistance. So let's see some photos of these submerged plants. Here it is. So this is, oh my god, I forgot the name. It's called something. You can see like it's very inside the water. See the leaves are this have very small and hollow stem. Okay, I'm pretty sure if going diving or something, you can see that you can touch and they have no waxy surface. And as you can see here, this is a seaweed. Yeah. That's what I'm going to share today. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum and hello everyone, my name is Noor Syazwani from class 5 STEM 2 will present about chapter 7 Adaptations of Plants in Different Habitats. There are three types of adaptive features, which is Hydrophytes, Halophytes and Xerophytes, but today I want to explain about adaptive features of Halophytes. Halophytes. Halo is a salt, phyte is a plant. So Halophytes is a salt plant. Halophytes plant that can live in a habitat with high concentration of salt and low oxygen content. They are generally defined as rooted seed-bearing plants. Example: grass, succulents, herbs, shrubs, and trees that grow in a wide variety of saline habitats from coastal sand dunes, salt marshes, and mud flats to inland deserts, salt flats, and steppes. Example: mangrove trees that live here have a specific adaptive features to adapt to the environmental conditions. This area is exposed to high intensity of light. This picture shows three types of mangrove, which is white mangrove, black mangrove, and red mangrove that live in different habitats. Most halophytes are deep-rooting perennials that achieve their optimum growth and yield potential at thresholds between 6 to 20 decisiemens per meter electrical conductivity, levels at which virtually all of our modern crops would perish. Some of the more prolific thrive in the coastal regions and arid inland deserts with concentrations of 45 decisiemens per meter seawater and above. Leaf. Leaf with thick cuticle and sunken stomata can reduce the rate of transpiration. So this is thick cuticle that reduce the rate of transpiration, and the picture beside it is sunken stomata or hidden stomata, which are not directly exposed to surface. It is in a small pit which protects the escaping water vapor from air currents and decreasing water loss from the leaf. Succulent leaf can store water. Succulent is a thick-nut, fleshy and engorged, so that's why it can store water. Leaf with a special structure known as hydrophyte eliminate excess salt. Hydrophyte is a type of pore that secretes water through pores in the epidermis or leaf margin, typically at the tip of marginal tooth or serration. All leaf can store salt and fall off when the concentration of salt stored is too high. Roots. The root system that branch widely and exists in various shapes and sizes provides support for the plants to continue living in the soft and muddy soils. Prevents plants from being uprooted due to strong wind. The root system of mangrove trees also produce hundreds of breathing roots that grow vertically upwards above the surface of the soil, called pinnatematophores. There are many pores on this root which are called lenticels to enable the exchange of gases with the atmosphere in underground tissue. The cell sap of mangrove roots has a higher salt content than sea water, hence the cell sap of the roots does not lose water by osmosis. Instead, the mangrove trees receive water and mineral salts from the seawater by entering their roots. So, this picture shows pinnatematophores, breathing roots that grow vertically upwards above the surface of the soil, and this is lenticels, small pores present on aerial roots and susceptible to clogging by crude oil and other pollutants and attacks by parasites. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Afia. I'm going to explain about the adaptive features of Xerophytes. What is the meaning of Xerophytes? Xerophytes are a type of plants that live in dry habitats such as desert or an ice-covered region. They are some examples of the plants like cactus, pineapples, and pines. These plants are adapted to survive in places that are extremely limited water supply such as deserts. Their adaptation is include to increase the water, to limit the water loss, and to store water efficiently. Next one we have adaptation of leaves. They have thick cuticle, low density of stomata, sunken stomata, and stomata hair on leaf and stem. These features will prevent the excessive water loss by transpiration. They also have small and raw leaves that reduce the surface area exposed to the sun. Some of the xerophytes, such as cactus, have thorns instead of leaves. Why? Because this thorn will reduce the water loss and at the same time give colic dew at their tips. Last one is adaptation of roots. They develop long and widespread roots that will reach the under the soil to absorb water and mineral salts. Some of the xerophytes have high salt content because osmosis, and their roots have capacity to store water. So this is the end of our presentation. Hope you guys understand and will learn something from us. We would like to especially thank our teacher, Mrs. SYAHIDAH, and our friends. That's all for today and have a nice day.
너 때문에 온몸이 타올라